Welcome back to StabtheDragon Productions for Whiskey Review number 29, a special Memorial Day observance as we look at this holiday, its history, its meaning, and as I review a military whiskey out of Omaha, Nebraska, Soldier Valley Whiskey. Here's the quick take. My total score, 72, letter grade, C+. Recommendation: if you are collecting military, patriotic, or veteran-owned whiskeys, you should not pass this one up. If you're collecting celebrity whiskeys, this Lee Greenwood whiskey by Soldier Valley should go in your collection. Now, this is not one of my better whiskeys. You can get Evan Williams Black or Jim Beam Black and have a better pour for less than half the price. But those are bourbons. This is not a bourbon. This is a good, solid craft whiskey, probably a blend with a very cool background and a killer bottle. For me, this is a good craft whiskey. The bottle's worth it. I'll replace it when emptied, maybe going on up to the next level for their bourbon. If you're only about the taste and the value for the price, if that's the only thing you're looking for, then you may not want this one. But again, this is a good whiskey. It's not a bad one, but it's not the best. I do not regret buying it at all, and I do think that specs probably overcharged me, if I'm remembering correctly. But, I'll get to that later. Now, let's do a Memorial Day introduction. This is Memorial Day. This is May 30th, 2022. It's an American federal holiday where we honor, remember, and mourn our fallen soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen, while we also joyfully celebrate the freedoms that their sacrifices have purchased for us. This holiday is rooted in the years immediately following our Civil War, and the ceremony can be dated to 1866 in Columbus, Georgia, as the point of origin. If you have small kids in your family or grandkids, teenagers, I would strongly recommend that you consider taking them to a Memorial Day ceremony. It's a little late this year. I'm doing this late on Memorial Day. But next year, go to a local cemetery, look them up, and see which ones are doing the Memorial Day service. If you're a veteran of the American military, I would say check on your buddies, maybe purchase a bottle of Soldier Valley whiskey, share it with a friend or family member. So let's get into the history of this whiskey. I found this whiskey at Specs in Fort Worth in the past year. The bottle looked outstanding, so I purchased it without any real research or recommendations. And I'm pretty sure Specs overcharged me. I'll get to that in a little bit. But here's some background. Soldier Valley Spirits, or Patriarch Distilling, kind of two names there going on. I don't know if they've totally replaced the Patriarch Distilling with Soldier Valley Spirits or what. I see both names on some of their stuff. But it's out of La Vista, Nebraska, which is a suburb of Omaha. So also, if you're collecting whiskey by states and need a Nebraska whiskey, this could be for you. But the whiskey name, Soldier Valley, is actually the name of a town in Iowa where the founder's father was from. And this whiskey company is all about faith, family, and service to country. The founder is Jeff Hayden. He's a U.S. Army veteran who wanted to start a whiskey company out of a passion for good whiskey and to celebrate and honor U.S. military veterans. He had worked since 1999 in the whiskey wholesale industry. And so he started doing research, started doing some home distilling, and he researched a bottle design. He got a patent on this cool bottle and a trademark for this World War II style canteen shape, which is absolutely what sold me this whiskey. I admit to being a sucker for cool bottles and whiskey names. See, here is my canteen and canteen cup from when I was serving in the Army 40 years ago, and you can see the general shape similarities here. Okay. So the name also drew me because I am a veteran, son of a World War II veteran, grandson of a World War I veteran, and the father of an active duty soldier. So Soldier Valley really, struck a chord with me. Jeff Hayden had been, like I said, in the whiskey industry, and then he started this company in 2011, but another date I saw said 2013, so I'm not sure of the date. But in 2019, Jeff brought on David Young, who's a Marine Corps veteran, and they teamed up with Lee Greenwood in 2020. And Lee Greenwood's signature is on the bottle. And so this is a celebrity whiskey. Lee Greenwood's name is right down here in the bottom of the bottle, of the label. They also have a Lee Greenwood Bourbon. They have an Omaha Beach Bourbon. And again, it's made in Omaha, suburb of Omaha. They've got a private stock rye. And actually, in the history of the company, their first distilled spirit that they started with was their rye. And guess what's not available for sale in Texas? And then I checked with their website to see if I can order it. No, and no. So I can't get the rye. And I'm a rye guy. I would gladly purchase their rye, but it's not available. So I don't know if I have to drive up to Omaha from Fort Worth. That's a heck of a deal. They have a 10-year rye as well, and they've got a 12-year rye, and then of course they do vodka, rum, and flavored whiskeys. So really, they've got a lot going on there in Omaha. 5 points for history. Marketing, bottle, and packaging. I've not seen any advertising for this whiskey, and just a handful of articles about it, really. Online magazines like Whiskey Advocate, January 4, 2021. The Music Universe, January 5, 2021. Music Row, January 5, 2021. And Fred Minnick's blog, Fred Minnick, big name in whiskey, also covered the teaming up of Lee Greenwood, and Soldier Valley, January 8th of 2021. So clearly there was some good marketing campaign, probably from Lee Greenwood's people, that helped release this in January of 2021. Several YouTube reviews I found. I mean, not a whole lot, but a handful anyway. But all the YouTube reviews were for other expressions from this distillery. I did not see anything for this Lee Greenwood whiskey. So, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but the previous edition of this, there's like a couple of iterations of this whiskey. This is maybe the third release. I don't know. But so I've seen several YouTube video reviews, but just not for this one. One of the things I did notice is that the older expressions had a plastic twist-off cap that looked like a real old canteen cap from World War II. Now my canteen cap in Vietnam era and afterwards, it has got a little bit different kind of a cap. It's all plastic and green. There was another older cap in World War II that was slightly different, and so some of the bottles of this whiskey had that old style cap on it, and I thought that was cool. Also, some of the editions of this Lee Greenwood whiskey had a dog tag attached to it, but in specs, none of them had dog tags. So I don't know if somebody took those dog tags or what, but mine did not come equipped with a dog tag. So the cap and cork are plastic and rubber. It's a rubber cork. The cap has Soldier Valley Spirits and the number 6 in the middle. The bottle, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, it's got an embossed 6 on both sides. Okay? And that's military lingo going on there, for, hey, I've got your 6, or do you have my 6? Meaning, I've got you covered. You've got me covered. We're taking care of each other, right? The OD Green label on here is really cool. It's got a picture of a World War II Sherman tank. And it's also, if you can see those X things in here, they look like X's. Those are not X's. What those are, if you look closely at the bottle, is they're Czech hedgehogs that were steel beams welded together. If you see pictures of Normandy Beach, you'll see those things in the sand. They're there to obstruct tanks and landing craft. At high tide, they would rip out the bottom of landing craft. The Ukrainians are using these in the current war with the Ruskies. And then with the red banner at the bottom, so you've got OD green and silver lettering and then a red banner. So really the label I like. It goes along quite well with the bottle. And then there's a blurb on the back of the bottle. This World War II era canteen bottle is dedicated to the men and women of the greatest generation. Without them, this country would be a much different place. Soldier Valley honors this time period of America by putting quality over quantity in the making of each of our award-winning spirits. We also believe in the old ways of neighbors helping neighbors by donating proceeds of every bottle sold to a nonprofit veterans organization. Okay? So really, the whole faith, family, and service to country thing is strong with this outfit, and that drew me in as well when I started researching them. So really, man, I'm liking these guys a lot. So 4 out of 5 for marketing and bottle packaging. The only negative thing, the bottle really carried the weight there. The only negative thing, and I'll get to this in the next section, composition, but the website has some issues. Okay, there's some issues there. So let's look at composition. This is a 750 milliliter bottle, and it's 43% ABV or 86 proof. It is labeled as whiskey. Now on the back label it says it's aged at least 2 years. The key things it doesn't say. It does not say bourbon, and it doesn't say aged in new oak casks. It says aged at least 2 years, and was distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So that's MGP, but bottled by Patriarch Distillers. So there again is the name Patriarch, and that relates to the whole family theme of this outfit. Patriarch Distillers in Bardstown, Kentucky. Okay, so they bottled it, they distilled it in Lawrenceburg, and it's shipped to Kentucky where it's bottled. But I've seen videos of the distillery there in Omaha, and they've got stills going. So I'm not sure what's going on, but no, I know they have operational stills there in La Vista, Nebraska. But the website calls this a frontier style whiskey that is rough and tumble. They say it's meant to be consumed with ice or mixed in your favorite cola, but you can drink it neat. Okay, that's all from the website. Then the website stops making sense with this next quote. Patriarch Whiskey, so again, that's the old name, so the website hasn't been updated. It says Patriarch Whiskey, is distilled from 100% grain, 18% rye. What does that mean? Of course it's 100% grain. Which grains? Now I'm glad it says 18% rye. That's a good thing. It's a little bit high rye, so that's good. Barreled for approximately 16 months. But wait a minute. On the back of this bottle, it said 2 years. So which is it? That's a significant difference. So Patriarch Whiskey, that was on their bottles from an older, earlier expression. And is this the same whiskey that Lee Greenwood has now? I'm not sure. So there's some confusion there with the website versus the bottle. Major snafu going on there. So these kinds of mistakes are unfortunately fairly common in the whiskey business. I've been studying these whiskeys now for the past 10 months, doing reviews, and I'm finding this kind of mistake frequently. Okay, so they're not updating their websites or something. I don't know what the disconnect is. So now let's look at the technical thing here. They're calling this whiskey. They're stating on the bottle that it's sourced from Lawrenceburg, so it's MGP. It's not a bourbon. Bourbon requires a mash bill of 51% corn. I'm pretty sure this has that. Okay, this, you can taste the corn in here. Bourbon doesn't have to be aged long. It's just got to spend a day in new oak barrels. This doesn't say anything about new oak barrels. So that's probably, using used barrels, and it could be a blend of several different whiskeys together. One thing that I read said that some of their whiskeys are distilled on site and then mixed with MGP, so that may be what's going on here. But certainly this is a whiskey, it's not a bourbon. So I'm thinking it's a blend, and it's in used barrels, probably. Okay, so that's what I think is going on here. But there's some mystery here. They're not clear, and that's a downer for me. Sometimes that's not the proprietor's fault, though. Sometimes if you have some sourced whiskeys in your mix, that the source makes you sign a non-disclosure statement, right? And so maybe, it's somebody else saying, hey, you can't use our name in your whiskey. So that could be. But I think also it's a lot of whiskey companies are being secretive, thinking that that's the right thing to do. And actually, there's a lot of us who want to know what we're drinking. Openness and clarity are valuable. So in this category of composition, which is worth 15 points, I'm going to only give it an 8. Appearance. This is a medium amber color. It's nowhere near as dark as some Texas whiskeys, but it's darker than a lot of Scotch or Irish. This is in the realm of bourbon. I mean, it's as dark as a lot of bourbons or other whiskeys that I've seen. So I'm going to say a 3, a 3 plus, but it's a 3. How about the nose? Now my nose is close to useless. If you watch any of my other videos, I keep telling you that. Many whiskeys I simply cannot smell. Bourbons are hard for me to smell. Rye I can sometimes smell. Scotches I can sometimes smell. This, nothing offensive. There's no alcohol burn in the nose, so that's a plus. Maybe just a little bit of sweet and even a touch of spice on the nose. But it's very, very faint, so 7 out of 10 for the nose. Now the all-important category of taste. Lightly sweet with a touch of honey, some corn. This could possibly pass as an Irish. I mean, it's that mild. This is really pretty mild. I'm not getting any barrel char. Not getting any wood tannins. I do get a little bit of spice in there somewhere. At 86 proof, I'm not getting any bad alcohol burn. If I hold it in my mouth long enough, I do get some in my sinuses, but that's a plus for me. I like a little bit of the burn. So really, there's nothing negative here at all. This is an easy sipper. Smooth, but a little bit low on flavor, kind of like an Irish. Nothing remarkable. When I mention Irish, I'm low end almost across the board. So, I'm talking, Jameson, Patties, Tullamore Dew, Proper 12, In fact, this comes closer to reminding me of Proper 12, now that I think about it. Because it does have a little bit of a rough edge about it, a little bit of a burn, which is what I look for in a whiskey. I like that. So there's nothing bad here. It's pleasant. I'm liking the spice kick that comes in. So, the 18% rye maybe is giving me a little bit of a spice kick. I'm getting a tad bit of cinnamon. No vanilla notes really. A little bit of the spice, a little bit of cinnamon. Tingling that's good. So really, I like it. It's just not remarkable. It's got a little bit of an extra kick. So an 18 out of 25. on the taste. The mouthfeel and finish, surprisingly, satisfying in the mouthfeel. Now this is an 86 proof, and so it should have a little bit of a good mouthfeel there. It can give that little extra burn up in the sinuses that's pleasant. This is not the bad ethanol thing at all. So there's nothing unpleasant there. It's smooth, but I think stronger than most Irish, but that's why I'm saying it kind of reminds me of Proper 12. Proper 12 has a little bit of that rough edge to it that I like. You know, I like to know that I'm drinking a whiskey. The finish is a little bit longer than I would have guessed. You know, I'm getting some of that cinnamon and tingling that's lasting at least medium, maybe longer. So, yeah, that's a pleasant finish. 11 out of 15 for the mouthfeel and finish. So now let's talk about price, value, and availability. Soldier Valley site says $44.99 if you want to order it. Specs now has it listed at $37.88. Total Wine and Goody Goody here in Fort Worth do not have it. When I purchased mine from Specs last year, 2021, there were no price tags out on the shelf. They had just set this out apparently. It had just come in. I had them run a price check, and I'm real sure that I paid 60-ish for this. And I kind of think the bourbon was right next to it. I kind of think that they messed up. I think I paid more for this than I should have. You know, I went ahead and bought that whiskey that day because of the cool bottle. I mean, outstanding name and outstanding bottle. So I think I paid more than I should have. But for a craft distillery, a ultra cool bottle, great company with good values, message, and history. It's a celebrity whiskey to boot. So this is kind of a twofer whiskey, right? Military, veteran-owned whiskey and celebrity whiskey. I don't regret buying it for whatever I paid, 60-ish, you know. But next time, for sure, when I finish this bottle, I will get another one and pay that $37.88 at Specs. Absolutely. And I might go up to the bourbon, and that one's at $62.99. I cannot get the rye here in Texas. Can't get it shipped apparently either. So all things considered, for price, value, and availability, 7 out of 10. Is this neat or a mixer? Well, I drink all my whiskeys neat. At 86 proof, it could be a mixer, but its flavor points are pretty low. Okay, so it's not got much strong flavor. So I think it might get lost in a cocktail. You know, the website says, hey, put it in a cola. I've never done that. I don't know. I like it neat. There you go. 4 out of 5 points, though. Bonus, 5 bonus points. 5 out of 5. It's just way cool. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, flavor-wise, it's kind of a little bit lower down. Nothing negative, but nothing real super positive. But the company, the name, and the bottle, 5 bonus points for sure. So in conclusion, I would just say, man, if you're a veteran, if you collect military whiskeys, if you like celebrity whiskeys, this Lee Greenwood whiskey from Soldier Valley, it's worth the price. Absolutely. Well, that does it for this Memorial Day. Be safe. If you drink, don't drive. If you're underage, don't drink. And check on your buddies. So this is Stab the Dragon out here.